Today we're going to be talking about unit rates. In our first problem, Samuel can do 120 jumping jacks in 2 minutes. So our ratio for jumping jacks to minutes is 120 to 2. And when we write that as a rate, we're going to be writing it as a fraction. So jumping jacks to minutes, which would be 120 jumping jacks for every 2 minutes. And now we have to find a unit rate. That means how many jumping jacks is Samuel jumping in 1 minute. So we have 120 over 2, and we want to know about 1 minute. So how do I get from 2 to 1? Divided by 2. And if I do it to the bottom, then I got to do it to the top. So 120 divided by 2. I'm going to mark that 0 out, bring it over here. 12 divided by 2 is 6, so that means that Samuel can do 60 jumping jacks in 1 minute. Now we are going to talk about B. B says that a large plane cruises at 530 miles per hour. So 530 miles for every 1 hour. And a unit rate is talking about 1. So if we want to know the rate for miles to hour, here we have 530 miles for every 1 hour. And since unit rate is just talking about 1, we already know that there will be 530 miles for 1 hour. We don't have to do any math there. C says a babysitter gets paid $60 for 4 hours. So the two things we have here are $60 for every 4 hours. So we have dollars to hours, and we have 60 to 4. And to find the unit rate, we want to know about just 1 hour. So 60 over 4 will equal what over 1? How do I get from 4 to 1? Divided by 4. If I do it to the bottom, then I got to do it to the top. So I have 60 divided by 4. 4 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. Bring down your 0. 6 minus 4 is 2. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract that, you get 0. So in 1 hour, the babysitter will make $15. All right, moving on. It says use the information about the various methods of transportation to answer the questions below. Okay, so we have in our first picture 408 miles in 6 hours for the boat. The airplane has 2,320 miles in 4 hours, and the bicycle has 153 miles in 9 hours. And letter A says, how many miles can the plane travel in 1 hour? So I know that I am talking about miles to hour here. So my ratio is going to be miles to hours. For the airplane, I have 2,320 miles in every 4 hours. And I want to find my unit rate, which is just 1 hour. So I'm going to stick my hour with my hour. And I'm going to figure out, how do I get from 4 to 1? Divided by 4. If I do it to the bottom, then I have to do it to the top. So 2,320 divided by 4. 4 goes into 2 0 times. 4 goes into 23 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. subtract it, bring down my 2. 4 goes into 32 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract it, you get 0. Bring down your 0. 4 goes into 0 0 times. Subtract it, you get 0. So that means there's 580 miles per hour. For every 1 hour, we're going to travel 580 miles. Moving on to letter B. Letter B says, how many miles can the bicyclist travel in 1 hour? So again, we have miles to hours. And we know that for every 153 miles, the plane will travel for 9 hours. And we want to know about 1 hour. So for every 1 hour, 9 divided by 9 is 1. So I need to divide 153 by 9. So 153 divided by 9. 9 goes into 1 0 times. And 9 goes into 15 1 time. 1 times 9 is 9. Now 15 minus 9 is 6. Bring down your 3. 9 goes into 63 7 times. 9 times 7 is 63. You subtract those and get 0. So for 1 hour, the bicyclist will travel 17 miles. And now in letter C, it says in a 1 hour period, how much further can the boat travel than the bike? So we need to figure out how much the boat can travel in 1 hour. We already know that the bicycle can travel 17 miles in 1 hour, and now we need to know how many miles the boat can travel in 1 hour. So our first thing will be to turn our boat into a unit rate. So miles to hours, we have 408 miles in 6 hours. So we want to know how many miles the boat can travel in 1 hour. To get from 6 to 1, I'm going to divide it by 6. If I do it to the bottom, I got to do it to the top. So we have 408 divided by 6. So 6 goes into 4 0 times. 6 goes into 40 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. 40 minus 36 is 4. If I bring down my 8, I have 48, and 6 goes into 48 8 times. 6 times 8 is 48. 48 minus 48 is 0. So the boat will travel 68 miles in 1 hour. So we know that the boat travels 68 miles in 1 hour, and we know that the bicycle travels 17 miles in 1 hour. And we want to know how much further can the boat travel than the bike. So that means that I am going to have to find the difference between 68 and 17. So I'm going to subtract 68 minus 17. 8 minus 7 is 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. That means the boat will travel 51 more miles than the bicycle. Moving on. It says Brody and Cameron earn extra money by mowing lawns. Brody earned $90 in 6 hours, and Cameron earned $52 in 4 hours. Who earns more money per hour? Per hour means 1 hour. That means we need to find a unit rate. So if we have money to hour, we know that Brody earns $90 in 6 hours. So how much does Brody earn per hour? Per hour means 1 hour. So I'm going to have to divide 6 divided by 6 equals 1. If I do it to the bottom, then I got to do it to the top. And 90 divided by 6 is how we figure out how much Brody makes per hour. So 6 goes into 9 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. Bring down your 0. 9 minus 6 is 3. 6 goes into 30 5 times, and 5 times 6 is 30. Subtract 30 minus 30 and you get 0. So Brody earns $15 per hour. Remember, per hour means 1 hour. So Cameron makes $52 for every 4 hours. So let's figure out how much they make per hour, which will be 1 hour. So to get from 4 to 1, I'm going to divide by 4. If I do it to the bottom, then I got to do it to the top. And 52 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 one time. 4 times 1 is 4. Bring down your 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract it and you get 0. So we know that Cameron will make $13 per hour. So who makes more money per hour? Brody does. All right, now moving on to number 6. Number 6 says, using the table below, determine the unit rate of pies per minute at a pie eating contest. So let's figure out how many pies are eaten per minute. So I have minutes to pie. And we want to know per minute, so that means every 1 minute. So in our first ratio here, we have 4 minutes for every 18 pies. And since we want to know per minute, we want to know for 1 minute. So we're going to go from 4 to 1. So 4 to 1 is divided by 4. If I do it to the top, I got to do it to the bottom. 18 divided by 4. 18 divided by 4. 4 goes into 1 0 times. 4 goes into 18 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. I'm going to subtract it and get 2. And now I have a remainder of 2, but I don't have remainders in 6th grade, so I'm going to add a decimal, bring it up, add a 0, bring it down. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. So in 1 minute, you can eat 4.5 pies. So the unit rate of pies eaten per minute is 4.5. Go ahead and glue these notes into your journal and make sure you write a summary about it.